Hello, hello, hello. How we all doing? Can you all hear me? Can you all see me? Let me know as usual in the chat. See, we got Derek in here already. How's your face scar doing? It's healing up pretty well. No real complaints here. You know, it never hurt, so I'm lucky. Got some little scar cream that I've been putting on it. It's been going well. Appreciate you asking. Thank you, Derek. Let's just check here. I think we're all good to go. I'm excited. I want to dive right into this. I also have to cut the stream a little early today because I'm going on the WP Tonic at noon Eastern. So, yeah, I want to kind of just dive into it because I don't know about you guys, but I try to be as like self-aware and always like trying to, make myself, my business like constantly better all the time. And I have just been neck deep in it in the last, I would say, like week or so, talking to a lot of different people. And today is going to be me kind of like going over and thinking about all of that because that's what I do here. I try to help you guys as much as possible. I think you'll probably get some value out of this. If you do have questions, leave them in the chat, obviously, and I'll do my best to answer those. But I need to like kind of like it's been almost 2 months here since the live stream at the beginning of the year, and I'm kind of like trying to do a self audit and constantly always get back to where we're gonna move forward from. And yeah, I just have a lot of thoughts, so I just kind of want to dive into it. I'm thinking I might share this little Notion doc that I have here, just because it'd be easier. I really want to. I'll talk about all this stuff. I want to get like one of those little drawing pads. I feel like that would be a cool thing to kind of like illustrate with in a lot of ways. But let me see here. An hour long Marcus live episode. It's so short. Yeah, I know. I know. Cutting me. They're pulling the plug today. Had to make it shorter. Let's see if I can just do this over here on this thing, and I'll just like kind of walk through some of this stuff. Yeah, this should work. All right, that should work. Let's just get rid of that. Yeah, whatever. That's fine. Okay, let's just do it like this, and we'll get going here. Birthday is January 28th. Derek, please don't social engineer hacking into my bank accounts or something. That was a joke. January 28th. I'm 29 years old. Just happened. Side note, I just became a hockey fan because of the USA team. Yeah. Is that tonight? Or did that... Yeah, it's got to be tonight, right? USA Canada, big grudge match. Rematch for the gold, right? Yeah. Um, That'll be interesting. I'll try to watch that one. Okay, so again, like I said, you can see by the title and thumbnail and everything like that. I try to make it like obviously a little clicky, but it's time to recalibrate for me. This is kind of, I think probably a lot of us are going through the same types of things depending on where we're at, and I hope that this is valuable. If it is, fantastic. If it's not, totally understand if you don't want to watch this one. But I think that I've talked to a lot of different people. I got a lot of notes here. I have a lot of thoughts that just so I'm just gonna kind of go about it here. I don't also real quick. I don't want to be like dramatic about this. It's not really like that. I'm constantly thinking like this, so I'm trying to always see like kind of where to go and keep moving. And sometimes I don't do that, so I think that that's just really important. So what I know is like I really don't want to be there's. I'll go back and forth because there's a couple things that I kind of want to like show you, but like I'm gonna go through a couple of these things real quick. Like what I know, like I really don't want to be forced to like play around in bricks for the rest of my life. I just put bricks in there just because, but like I don't want to be that person. Like I think that there's a lot of value in being somebody that's like a technician and doing all those types of things, but where I kind of sit here, it's like I'm kind of like at the intersection of tech and business is really like what I've pretty much found myself being self-aware as. And I think like as we go through this, I feel like you guys maybe if you are trying to get some value out of this, just do this exercise with yourself. Like really just think about like where you're at. Like, do you want to be doing what you're doing for the rest of your life? Are you more in like the tech side? Are you more in the business side? All of these conversations, again, I got to give you a little bit of context in order to make this make sense. All of these conversations have pretty much stemmed from the idea of the fact that we have these conversations constantly about, the tech, the deep tech shit that it's going on here, right? Like, page builder versus page builder, like, techniques on CSS or, bloated code or all this sort of shit, which is important, but it's so many layers deep that I feel personally that I've gotten so deep in this that it's almost hard to actually, at least I haven't figured it out, like how to make a business kind of around some of those things. Because it just, if you're talking like, because we could talk different models, right? If you're talking about clients do not give a shit about most of that stuff. Realistically, they just don't. Those are businesses that want to make money. They don't really care what you're using as long as what you're using is not like the worst thing possible. At least in my opinion. Maybe again, if you have different thoughts, this is a conversation. Throw them in the chat. But I don't. But I've never really had somebody, give a fuck about that. So that's one side of it. The other side of it is you could go super deep into the weeds and you could educate and specifically build and go directly at other people that are going directly into the weeds. Like you could be a technician that educates and sells things to other technicians. Totally makes sense. But as we get further into this, I don't know if that's where I'm supposed to be. So this is kind of, again, trying to figure that out. And I have some thoughts on that as well. What I do know is I'm highly skilled. I know this because over the last few years, I know that I'm highly skilled at communicating. I'm not the best, but those are some of my if I was putting like, little stars next to my skills, I'd say I'm highly skilled at communicating, teaching when I know what I'm teaching, and building rapport. Those three things right there, I feel like I'm very good at. So the concept is, if you were doing this, like what are your things that you're really good at, and then how can you leverage those moving forward would be part of what I'm kind of going through here myself. And then the last thing here that I have listed up on the top here, right, is that I have like relatively not done shit in terms of money, and that needs to change, like in terms of revenue generation and things like that. So I'm sitting here the other day. Let me go back here for a second, then I'll show you some stuff. I'm sitting here the other day and I'm thinking to myself, oh man, I need to like spruce up my, my profiles or, my website and kind of like, I need to like a better, like, what do I do? I'm sitting here and I'm like, what is my specialty? What am I like the most good at in all these things? Like, is it dynamic data? Is it like I'm not the CSS guy. I'm not really the automation guy. I'm not really the AI guy. Like I dabble in all those things. I'm trying to figure out what it is. And maybe I can't figure it out yet. Maybe I haven't explored enough. Totally viable or possible there. But I'm thinking like, what are all those things? And then I'm also thinking like social proof, because everybody that I see, as soon as you achieve something, and this is actually probably the biggest point of this. So if you want to click off after this, maybe just listen to this sentence. After you get to a certain point from what you do, then like every I've done so much observation. You saw the video that I did the other day about the YouTube people, like, just the YouTube as an example. Every single person that's like selling something via YouTube and actually using it like properly, what they've done is they took time. I don't know if they were completely offline or whatever. They took time, a chunk of time, let's just call it like 5 years, to build whatever they built, and they had measured success. Like it's a number, like, oh, I got to 128K a month or something, some shit like that, right? So they had measured success. And then they turned around and they were like, well, I had all this success and I haven't told anybody about this success. I mean, maybe I told some people, but I didn't like educate people on how that happens. Then as soon as they start to say shit, and mainly as soon as they start to say the fucking number that they achieved, that's when everybody's ears perk up. That's when everybody gets really actually excited, because it's like, oh, this guy isn't just saying shit that in theory might work. He actually did shit and now is selling that shit, or he's, just saying that stuff or whatever. And that is going to actually like, oh, wow, this guy made this much money from doing XYZ. If he tells me how to do XYZ, I will make that much money. That's literally the calculation that I think a lot of people make with that content. And I've realized that I've had like extreme minimal success. It's very hard to know because, everybody's, the economies are different. Everything's different. But like I've had a very minute amount of success in the years that I've actually like focused on like the agency work type of thing. And I've completed projects, I've learned a lot, but as far as like monetary revenue success, it's not, I would say it's insignificant. So that is not something that I can leverage. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm never going to be able to leverage that if I don't go back and actually do that shit more and actually focus on that stuff. Because I know that I'm capable of doing it, but I just never like leaned all the way into it. Now we get into a little bit of psychology here. It's like, is that really something that I should do? Because I don't, you know, I don't, again, like we go back to the top, I don't want to be like playing around in like bricks or whatever for the rest of my life. But I do think that, it couldn't hurt to go back and just be like, actually create and focus more on the agency and do that. Does that mean I'm gonna stop doing any of this stuff? No, I think it's gonna change a little bit, and this is kind of like what I'm thinking, as we go through this. So let me take a quick pause here. I'm gonna go through the chat because I know there's a couple here, and then I'm also going to give you a little bit more context on how the hell I got here, because I think that maybe with what everything I just said there, you're probably like, this guy's overthinking a lot, and there's a lot of other things. So I just want to show you a couple other things. So let's see. Mark, what do you think of the Utah hockey team named Outlaws? I saw some of that. I saw like it's in the Utah Hockey Club, and then I think the Yeti might be cool. I didn't see all the options. Andre said, yes, you're right, but who cares about web designers? You offer a solution to a need of a boss, so you sell an app, not web, and you're set. Tailored code for custom worth much more than open source adjustable. I think I understand what you're saying there. And I think we're going to get into some of that with some of these other points that I have there. But I appreciate, yeah, I do have some thoughts on that. So we're going to come back to that. I had the same conversation with myself. Yeah, no, dude, I've had this conversation millions of times with myself and now with other people. So it's kind of interesting. Another thing, your site, the way it's built to provide a solution for someone, ERP system. Yeah, 100%. Easy Smith, what's up, brother? What's up? Yeah, I haven't mentioned Easy yet, but I mean, he's one of the. I kind of say in here in some of these notes, guys, that like I've had a lot of, in the marketing of this stream, I've had a lot of really good conversations with a lot of good people. Easy is one of those guys. So Easy, appreciate you watching, man. Yeah, 100%. So anyway, like let's go back to it here for a little bit. Let me go back to this. So let me just kind of give you a little bit of context. So this is kind of what I know. We're going to talk about the rest of the stuff. I'm going to hit on some of those points. Okay. So like, let me just go through a little bit of the past like week. Everything happens in weeks, right? Because we come back to these live streams and I kind of give you the thought process. Let me just give you a high level overview of some of the things that I'm kind of talking about here. If you're watching, you probably could see like in between the lines, but like these three last videos here, not really so much the AI one, maybe to a degree, but these three videos here that I posted, boom, 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 they were like actually something that, in each one of them, I'm talking about, in this one, have we been in an echo chamber here? I think we're going to be talking about that on the tonic here at noon. That is something where we are absolutely in this echo chamber. If you didn't watch this 18-minute video, the synopsis there is that we are all web designers. We are all in the web designer community. We're all trying to do the same thing, and most of our time is spent talking to other web designers. So then I was referencing like a sales call that I had there for the agency where I'm talking to a client, and I have literally this was literally the eye-opening moment here. I have been engulfed in web designer chat and web designer adjacent chat for the last year and a half. I don't think that's a bad thing. I'm just saying the reality is when you put yourself in there and you only talk to those people, which maybe you guys aren't because maybe you're having more sales calls than I have, but I haven't had many because I've been focused on this, which it's been working. We've had momentum, but like it's really concerning because then you almost can't go back to talking to the other people. I mean, you can, but as soon as I get on a call and I hear the words like websites are an illusion for us, we just need something, immediately I'm not actually angry about that because I have become more like pragmatic in the way that I talk in those situations. But it's like it is shocking. Like, and I'm on this phone call and I'm thinking like, hey, like, okay, let me hear more about that because I haven't heard this perspective before. I'm naturally like inquisitive and curious about that. So my thing is, if you put yourself in this echo chamber, and I'm literally just trying to talk to you guys, as just another person navigating this. Okay, if you put yourself in these echo chambers, regardless of what they are, we're talking about web design here, you will not know what. In this case, it's worse because you won't know what your clients want or your clients think. You'll just be listening to like me or anybody else, and you'll be saying, "Wow, like, this is what web design should be, or this is what websites and everything should be." It's like, yes, asterisk. Yes, that's what it should be. Maybe that's optimally. Maybe that's like what we know in the field. But the problem is there is like such a small amount of web designers versus 7 billion people in the world. I don't know what the percentage is, but I know it's actually probably high-ish, depending on when in time you took that, because everybody's a web designer now. But my point is that the actual people that are deep in this knowledge base of this stuff is definitely relatively low. So when you go outside of that bubble and you look at these other people and you listen to these other people like that have real businesses and want to make real money, and they realize, or they think, whether or not they're right or wrong, it doesn't matter, it's their perspective, that websites aren't going to drive what they need it to. You know, maybe for sure they might not have the knowledge that they need to, but at the same time, not every business is the same. So depending on what industry you're talking about, it's like you could be saying one thing that actually works in one industry, but in another industry, it really actually isn't that important, right? How can you look somebody square in the face that has made money in an industry before and has never focused on their website, and then they come to you with their new business and they're like, yeah, we actually really don't need a website that much. Like we've been fine before. You could say, hey, you know, with this, and this, you know, you might be able to scale. But like, all I'm saying is, in the reality, the real world, they're not going to actually latch onto that extremely easily because they don't know it. They've been doing this. They've been doing XYZ for their entire life. They just feel that a website is an illusion. All I'm saying is that video right there, if you want to listen to it, was a really big, like, you know, kind of wake up point for me in that regard, because I just realized that I had much more to learn as far as you know, as far as like dealing with these people that I don't normally deal with right now or haven't really been dealing with. And yeah, and again, like kind of going back to what I said earlier, it's like I feel sometimes that I can't really teach certain bits of this, even though I do know the theory is valid. I can't really teach bits of this because I don't have the actual things to kind of draw from. And also you just ultimately at some point you just feel like an imposter a little bit. So it's like you can't do that. So my point is that not only those points, but also because of the revenue portion, I would like to actually try to build a fucking business. You know what I mean? Like, I've never actually tried to do that. This is another thing I've been talking to everyone about is much like maybe you guys tell me if I'm wrong. I decided one day, randomly, I don't know how it happened. Well, I remember how it happened, but it might happen different for everyone. I was like, websites seem cool. Let's try to figure out how to build that. And you either have somebody in your life that, you know, steers you that way, or you just go on the internet and you're like, how do you build a website? Effectively, all of us have asked that question, and we've gotten into WordPress to some degree or another, right? I would love to know if any of you went like one way or another on this. The first way is you learned how to build a website and then you decided to make a business out of that. So you had a skill and then you decided to turn that skill into a business, right? You're a technician playing an entrepreneur. I'm wondering if I would be shocked if anyone decided, hey, I want to build a business. I'm going to start a web design agency, but you don't know how to build a website agency. So the other day, literally yesterday, this is what triggered some conversation, is if we go over here, this tweet right here, right? I almost want to start a business in an industry where I have absolutely zero technical knowledge in, so I will hopefully stay out of the minutia and actually delegate some shit, right? And we can see easy reply to that, and you know we're all in the same boat here, okay? Like we're all in different phases and stages and everything, but we're all in the same boat, okay? So my point is with this is that there's again caveats to this, but I think the first part of this is that I would say the vast majority of us, we're technicians. We established that skill and then we wanted to build a business off of it, right? That's fine. You can do that. It will work if if you're pragmatic enough, if you try to pull yourself out of the business, even if you're in the business and you're just having success, but there's pros and cons to that. All I'm saying is that I haven't had too much success with that. I want to try it, give it an honest try again. And I want to also think of it from the way of, let me try to pull myself out of this a little bit. So now I'm a little bit all over the place with what we're talking about here. But basically, I have been put the agency piece on the back burner as I've tried to dive into the WordPress ecosystem and the content, everything like that. I'm going to continue to do that, no doubt about it, because it comes naturally to me. I love you guys. I'm not going anywhere. I'm still going to do the same things. But I'm honestly going to try to actually get on way more sales calls. And we'll talk. I don't want to skip ahead because I have a little bit of a plan for that. So, but my point is, like, I want to go back to that realm. I want to try to get back in there a little bit because I feel a little disconnected, and I feel like it's actually, here's the rub. I have those skills. I want to increase my skill set of actually running a business because I do think that that's something that innately I will be good at if I actually gave a shit and tried. And ultimately, I know that because of the position I'm in and the experience that I do have building websites, there is there is revenue generating opportunities out there. Maybe not in the way that you think, because I need to come back to some of the notes on that. But just my point is that there's definitely some options and some ways that we could spin that, we could work that. So that's something that I'm thinking about. The last thing, and then we'll go back to the notes and I'll hit the chat here in a second, is as a couple things here real quick. This other video was like kind of the same type of thing. It was social media. It was looking at people on YouTube, and it was seeing like, do they value websites? Now YouTubers are a different breed, obviously. These people that are, like making hundreds of millions of views and all this sort of stuff, they're probably getting a good amount from AdSense. My point is that I'm not telling you anything in that video. If you watch that video right there and you respond like maybe some of the people did, it's not about, I'm not saying that YouTubers are doing it right necessarily. What I'm saying is that YouTubers, the avatars, the archetypes that I was showing in there, those people are actually a little confused. They are just keeping their audience all siloed in these black boxes of YouTube, Instagram, whatever, right? I think it's pretty objective that that's not the greatest strategy long term, and I think you could point to probably several cases where those people did end up getting fucked because they don't have control of their audience. What I'm saying is, and this is another thing that I feel like I'm good at, is like the meta psychology thing and understanding the shit, like, or I'm naturally interested in at least. What I'm saying is that those people do not know, they literally don't understand the value. We understand that value. It's not like this for every business though, but in social media, it absolutely is. They don't understand the value of getting them off if they can. Because if you can control your audience, then at least you're not going to like be, there's probably a lower likelihood that at some point you're going to like wake up one day and your channel is going to be gone. You know what I mean? Like that type of thing. So my point is that as a web designer or somebody in this space with more of that like marketing digital knowledge, we have to understand that there are people out there that don't get that inherently, and we have to somehow realize, are they in a situation where it would make sense for us to try to like educate and help them and like maybe like potentially like see them as a prospect, or is it something where it's just never going to work and it's not optimal? I think the thing that I struggle with sometimes, I know a lot of other people do, is like we want to make everything optimal and we want to make everything make sense and be objective in our heads because that's how we rationalize things. But the more and more that I'm learning is that sometimes it will not happen. Like we will just not be able to fix every situation or like fix everyone's thought process on things. And that's another meta angle that I was seeing there. So I was doing that for the people that just as an experiment for myself and for others to see like, is this like, what is the current lay of the land sort of in the sample size that I took? And then also what is ultimately any plan of like attack sort of, or like just that would be the next step, is like, can we help those people? Do they even need help? Would they accept help? Does it matter at all? Like if you get to a certain amount of scale, like, like maybe you're in just a different echelon of a creator at that point where it doesn't even matter anymore. Like YouTube isn't going to mess with you because you're bringing them too much money. You know what I mean? Like these are all things that the world is so nuanced. Matt Medeiros loves when I say the word nuanced, so I say it a lot. It's so nuanced that like I try to make it objective a lot, but a lot of times it's just you can't bucket everything, and I'm starting to kind of feel that a little bit more, especially as I go back and I think about some of these offers and everything that I'm creating. I do want to just shout out a couple other thing too. I shout out Easy. You guys go follow Easy on Twitter or on X here. Let me see if I can pull it up real quick. Definitely go follow him. He's got incredible insights. And then I want to shout out a couple other people that I've just like found recently that have helped me, because I'm absolutely not doing this alone. There's zero chance that I'm able to figure all this stuff out. I'm just kind of like observing, absorbing, and then trying to put my own spin on it and hopefully help out some of you guys, anybody that listens. So I greatly appreciate all of you. Okay, so real quick, I just want to tell you guys about this. This actually might be extremely valuable for you depending on who you are. I go through these subscriptions and stuff a lot. This gentleman right here, Nick Sarayev, great guy. He has a channel that has like 50K. Where the hell is his actual channel? Somewhere in here. I don't know. I'm going to link up this one right here. This is his daily updates channel. But his daily updates channel is new, and it's kind of been, I'm going to say borderline life-changing. That's a little dramatic, but his main channel is over here. So just real quick on this guy, because I do think that you guys might actually generate some serious value from this. If you're interested in automation, this channel right here, the main one, he's incredible. Like it just N8N, everything like that. A lot of really good stuff here. The thing is though, I'm interested in automation, but this is where my this is just been the reason I'm bringing this up is for me this has been like a transformational thing. It's like I like automation, I like web design, I like all these things, right? You know what I like way more than that is like actual like the like growth and entrepreneurship. Even though I've been probably a shit ass entrepreneur for a while, so when I found out that Nick has a daily updates channel where he just kind of shows the behind the scenes and stuff, it actually I wanted to make one right away. I didn't do that yet. I don't know if I will. My point is that Nick is just one example of this that I've just found recently, and I've really appreciated his shit, and he's very helpful and stuff. So my point is though, with this type of thing, is you have to understand, like, and this is kind of painting me in a new picture. It's like you have your technical skill, and then you have all the stuff that's like creating that business or whatever. And Nick is one of those guys where he's had an incredible amount of success in the agency thing, and then now I'm like diagnosing or I'm like observing all this and I'm like, okay, you almost like need to have that level of success in order to kind of teach, or at least to have like the credibility, or to have anybody like care about like kind of what you're doing. And it makes total sense. Like I was like kind of fighting it a little bit before, but it makes total sense because why are all you guys doing what you do? You're probably doing it to make money, right? Feed your family, if you want to be a little bit more romantic about it. So it's like, why the fuck would you listen? Why, like, if you actually think about it objectively, why the fuck would you take the time to listen to somebody talk about that shit that you don't even know has done those things or made that money or had that success that you're looking at? It actually, when you break it down like that and you stop, and like me, I'm saying me, and I stop being like um, I don't know, for lack of a better term, a bitch about like thinking that I think that people would listen for some reason. I feel like it just makes total sense. And then there's we can get into the money thing, but it's just more about that you have a goal when you look at either entrepreneurial or business building content or even technical content. Honestly, at the end of the day, everybody here, a lot of us are like technical based, but we still want to make money. It has to happen. It cannot happen just in the way that this works, right? So it's like, where do you end up? And that's the thing that I would say is, I'll go to the chat here and we'll go back to the notes in a second. Like, you have to think about where you want to be on this scale of like, I would say like full blown technician to full blown entrepreneur. Where do you end up sitting in there? I think a lot of us get lost in the middle. I think you can play from the middle, but I think you have to be extremely like you have to be extremely like adept at playing both sides, and it just takes a long time. None of this stuff that I'm talking about, is overnight based. So I don't know. There's just a lot there, and a lot that I'm thinking of constantly. So yeah. Okay, a lot of chat here, guys. Appreciate you. Let me go back here real quick. Let me go. Marcus, glad I'm not the only one and not in Manila this week. Yeah. I didn't make the trek out there. Excited. I got a busy next couple months though. Going to CloudFest Germany and then PressConf. So I'm excited to see all you guys there. What do we got here? Andre says yes, because web designer is what people know and address to devs or learn. Yeah, I think I understand everything you're saying, Andre. I'm gonna bring it together in some of these points here. Skill business in that order. Yeah, 100%. Skill to business, 100%. Okay, I see. J-Man said business skill. Interesting. Okay, cool. Love to know more about that. What about joining with more people that are dedicated to sales and then continue with the skills? Okay, so that's a good point. I'm not sure if you're talking about. Also, guys, I don't have any answers. Okay, I'm probably gonna say that till the rest of my life. I've answers to some things, but like this is just this. Everything I'm saying here is a me experiment that I would encourage you to do the experiment on yourself. Like, don't just like listen to what I'm fucking going through here. Okay, like, so when I look at this, what about joining with more people that are dedicated to sales and then continue with the skills? Yes. But here's the thing. For me, I genuinely don't believe that I want to live in the technician spot forever. Like, I am not someone that is driven by learning, like, okay, I'll give you a perfect example. Okay. I think you need to be super self-aware sometimes. Let me ask you guys a question. When Thomas from Bricks or Maxime from Advanced Themer, when they drop a new feature that has 50,000 lines of like new shit that goes into the tool, how excited are you on a scale of 1 to 10? For me, it's about a 2. Okay? Now, I love those guys. Okay? I mean, I love the products. Products are great. But my thing is like I see those posts and I'm thinking in my mind, yeah, I don't really care that much. Like I do care, but I don't. And it's great, but I'm saying like me personally, I don't care about the tools so heavily. Like I'm not like somebody that's like just gonna jump in there and be like, oh, what new stuff can I do? When I hit a problem, a limitation, and then I find out that the tool exists, or I go and I ask for a feature request and it fixes it, great. But I just am not the person that is spending all of my time in those tools. My hypothesis from that self-awareness exercise there is that I'm not a full-blown technician because I do not care. There's no tool I think of that I actually care about, even 75% of all the things it can do. I just know I like sharing that with you guys when I find something useful, but that's just not me. Like I don't know if is it you? I don't know. But my point is like that's one thing. So to go back to this question here real quick, like if you continue with the skills, you can. But I think from self-awareness, I don't think that that's me. I think I'm more on the other end. I think if I was like looking at it, or I don't even know at least. Like I think I enjoy building and operations and all that sort of stuff more than just the tech side. So that's kind of like where I'm thinking that I need to kind of like land a little bit, but still have the skills. I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. The one last point about this is I'm not sure if you're talking about partnering, but that is a whole nother conversation that I have limited experience with, but is a whole nother exercise I feel like you need to do with yourself, because you probably just need to partner a few times in order to know if you can do it. I genuinely don't think I can. I genuinely don't think I can, and I worry about it because I wonder how it's gonna work. But let me give you a quick one on this because I do think this is important. Every single time I've partnered, and it could be like I'm even talking like an insignificant business partnership. It's like not like fully written stone. Every single time, this is what happens. I think, and when I say I think, I'm actually like pretty certain in some cases that XYZ is the right way to go. Then I'm like, then we have a conversation and we realize that ABC is the way to go. And then or it's the way we're going to go, right? Because it depends on who you're partnering with. Very, very important to know your partner. So then you get to the point where, you realize ABC was not the way to go. And it's like, bro, I said XYZ, I had experience, I gave you instances, whatever, we should have went that way. We're doing too much, whatever. The problem is that I think I haven't put myself in this position yet, but I think I always need to be the end decision maker. I like random example. I like golf. I actually hate golf and love golf at the same time. But the thing about golf is that there is no one else to blame. It is yourself. If you fuck up, it is 100% on you. If I don't think that I can't live very well in those business relationships without being the person that made the fuck up. If I fuck up in like hockey or golf or whatever, as the examples, I am like, okay, you screwed up. That was a mistake. You need to learn from it. But I don't like hate, like I feel regretful when I let other people make the decisions that I don't feel are right in me. And then that affects the whole situation. I don't know if that's a weird personality trait. I'm just saying that I would rather be the one making the mistake and learn from it, and then have to tell everyone else like, hey, that was my bad. I apologize. I'm sorry. I would rather do that than have other people making this decision when I don't agree with it, and then it hurts from them the top down, so to speak. I think it's one of the reasons I don't actually think I could be an employee again, because I just constantly disagree with, like, when I was at the job, like I constantly would disagree with like digital, directions that were going, marketing directions or whatever, and then I would just be sitting there constantly thinking about, that is a terrible decision. I know that's not going to work, but they didn't listen to me, and then it doesn't work. I'm not saying I know everything. I'm just saying in certain instances I can't deal with that. So, all of that said, long-winded answer. You could do that. You could partner with people that know sales, but this is a you question. Like, you need to know where on that spectrum you are and what you're most best at. And if you're full blown technician, fuck yeah, you need to find somebody that can do the business stuff. I just don't think I'm a full blown technician. So I don't think I need to find. I actually am probably going to need. This is in the notes, but I know I'm already behind on the chat and everything like that. This is in my notes, but I actually think what's actually going to happen, and what would honestly be best for me in my trajectory, in my just learning experience, is for me to go hard on the business side, see that like for real, and then actually get some of you guys to, and pay you and everything, and help and have you help me fulfill the projects. Any of you guys that are like heavily technicians, I think that is like the best case scenario for, potentially, again, for you guys, if you're in that realm. And then also for me, if I actually want to try the other end to see, well, let's figure it out. Let's see if it works. Because again, I think that's probably one of the things that's gonna help us all. I feel like, to continue to move forward. Brady said, anyone else run page reports on other agencies selling 1K websites in mass and disbelief when their own website scores 50s, 60s? How are they fooling clients? It's an echo chamber thing for me. Yeah, I mean, again, I think that is probably, to me, again, no, this isn't a criticism, Brady. I just personally believe that I've been in that camp, and honestly, the technical shit is important to technical people. And then, what's important to business owners that are in bakeries or wherever the fuck? Do they make money? And there's a whole other conversation there, because how do you actually sell websites to people when the websites don't directly make them money? We don't have enough time to talk about that right now. But like, my point is that I've never actually, if the thing loads, this week, what I mean? Like, if it loads within a couple seconds, like, this is why I've never really latched on to like a page speed optimization, like as a service. Most people, I feel like, aren't going to really care about it. Like, I've never really actually seen anybody until they get like, maybe, solicited about some random shit and it like scares them a little bit. Most business owners, I feel like, would do that. They would be like concerned that, oh, maybe I'm losing leads because of this. But that's not always the case. And I think it's more often not the case. Again, let's be reasonable people here. The shit needs to load fast. It doesn't need to load instantly, So that's just one example. I agree with what you're saying, though. It is as the technician side of me, I'm like, that's kind of ridiculous that their websites are loading 50, 60s and whatever. But I would also probably look more into like the actual experience of it. How are they fooling clients? I don't know. Well, I mean, I can tell you how they're fooling clients. Clients never gonna fucking run a page speed insight thing on the agency's website, because they don't know what the fuck that is. So that's part of it, I feel like. Andre had addressed customers with forms from ads. That way, interested people will complete. Not interested will not. So you choose your customers. Andre is just dropping a ton of interesting advice here with random capitalization. I'm liking this. I feel like I'm not hitting enough on these points, but I'm liking where we're at. I do think that that's an interesting one. The thing there, I think I was talking to Easy about this, is like the problem with when we get into this a little bit of the rest of the stuff here. I gotta be fast too. I don't have much time. This has been really good so far, guys. I wish I had longer. The thing with some of this stuff, though, is that the way that we work, you have to have a productized service, or you have to have a service, or you have to have a product. Like, there's kind of a spectrum there. If you're going like full service and a lot of your stuff is bespoke, it's very hard to actually find your audience through that ad. You know what I mean? So, yeah, it's tough. Easy said to Brady, because most small business clients just don't know what. Yeah, exactly. They don't know what it is. Yeah. Page speed is ultimately reflected in the UX, though. Yeah, I mean, I think it depends. Like I said earlier, I think sometimes it definitely does. Yep, easy, 100%. Yep, 100%, 100%. Toby, what's up? I know I'm behind in this chat by like 10 minutes. You guys are awesome. Because he shares the same question marks, or maybe together we get further, cover the other holes. Okay. It's fun and relatable to watch the journey itself, regardless of income levels, honestly. It's easy to get stuck in technician role because I've been sharing that for about 3 years now. True business partnerships are tough. Had a couple. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's really difficult. Have I considered hiring a business coach? Not at all. No, not even a little bit. Not even a little bit. No, not even slightly. Maybe that's a problem, but I don't. I don't, that might get me there faster, potentially. But it's one of those things where I don't know if that's the right decision to not want to do that. I think my hypothesis on that is that the cons or the headache or the price of that would outweigh the pros. Could be completely wrong. I also believe that the self-awareness person I am, I have literally not tried to do what I want to do. If I actually tried, I think I would succeed. This is pretty much what I do every aspect of my life. If I want to do something, I need to try. If I don't try, there's no chance I'm going to do it. If I do try, I just have enough faith and confidence in myself that I will absolutely do what I want to do. Case in point, I think I've had reasonable success in this YouTube space, this whole WordPress, YouTube, content creation space. If you talked to me a year and a half ago versus now, I knew barely anybody. I had no audience whatsoever. I appreciate all you guys for everything that you've done, all the support you give me. And I think that in a short amount of time, I was able to do like at least something like of substance there, right? So my point is that if I just kind of focused a little bit more on the other shit, then I think I would be able to, achieve that as well. Should I hire a business coach? I don't know. Maybe. Easy said I nailed something, but that was a couple minutes ago, so I'm not exactly sure what that was. Rob says business clients don't understand the technical shit or care. Yeah, I would agree with that. I would agree with that. I was talking on partnering, but I completely understand your point of view. For example, I partner with a designer. She also gets the sales, but I feel the same. Yeah, no, I mean, I think you should definitely leverage other people's skills, like 100%. Like if I know, like I figured this out a little bit ago. I am not a designer, so I should probably never design anything of seriousness ever again. So that's why I'm saying, like, if I end up doing this stuff, I need to get back to this thing real quick because we need to go. I need to get back to and run through some of these points. But if I get back into that thing, I can't be designing the shit. Like I'm going to need like potentially you guys, like good designers, to actually fulfill some of that stuff. And that is where I think that this could all kind of come together, and we might have really something cool on our hands. Doesn't affect SEO though. I think that is not a myth, but I think that it's the core web vitals thing is actually kind of what I would look at. The trouble is you can't see that shit until your website has enough traffic. And how many clients are we actually talking about that have enough traffic? It's like a weird fucking cyclical thing here that we just keep coming back. And it's like this, but this, but this, but this, but this, but that. I'm not saying it doesn't exist. I'm not saying it's not real. I'm saying that this is the thing. We are highly technical people. We are highly objective people. And then you get into the real world, not you, but everyone, and specifically, we get into the real world and we realize that these business owners doing these random ass industries, they actually don't know as much as we fucking think that they might know, or we assume they might know from a technical standpoint at all. And then it's also they don't even know what's going on in the business. Like their operations are fucked, or this, that, or the other thing. They're extremely inefficient. Like there's a lot of ways to actually improve their business from those ways. But then you have the actual digital aspect and like the way the internet interacts with them and the way that they may or may not market on the internet. And a lot of it I just feel like it's not fake. It's just kind of like hoopla from like this SEO Google type shit down. Like who died and made Google God? You know what I mean? Like I'm not saying not to worry about it. I'm saying that I feel like a lot of us worry about it 100%. Don't worry about it 0. Don't worry about it 100. Worry about it in the middle. Be realistic about it. Like get it to good enough. Unless you want to build your whole entire business model off of making everybody's websites 100% speed efficient. If you can do that, go do that. I don't know what to tell you. Like that might be viable, but you have to be the guy for that. And you have to do that exactly. I feel like there's other ways that I would move the needle for people, and it's not getting their page speed down to, something astronomically low. Does it affect SEO? I think it's more of the web vital thing. It's like it's affecting SEO. It's affecting like the bounce rate because people are coming to the website and fucking leaving when it takes 10 seconds. They're not leaving necessarily when it takes 2 seconds. You know what I mean? So it's like it's an intangible effect that you can measure, and they kind of measure with the core web vital thing, but I don't feel like it's 100% like a measurable thing. It's just kind of like, could be wrong about that. But regardless, what I would say is, I know we're all technicians mostly. the business owners, they're gonna care and also not care at the same time. So it's like a weird thing. When you find answers you seek, will you share them with us? Yeah, I'm obviously, Brendan. I'm gonna be here, man. But I don't know. We'll see. Appreciate you, Easy. Thank you, man. Thank you for everything, everybody. Um, the problem with business coach is so many frauds out there. True consultant, serious shortcut, but fine. Yeah, 100%, 100%. Yes, but that's why I pay an SEO guys what clients think. They don't care about if SEO is failing. They don't care if SEO is failing because of bad keyword research or bad. They just care. They just expect to get results or get the next side. Yeah, and I mean also when we say results, we mean money, basically, right? Ultimately, at the end of the day, hire Kevin to come in and get your mind straight. He'll have you sorted. If you want to talk about having text on tap, we'd be up for a combo online. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I mean, Kevin is. I talk to Kevin all the time. Kevin's been, one of those. I would classify him as a mentor. I don't know if he thinks he's a mentor to me, but he is. Matt Medeiros as well. A lot of interesting things. I watched Kevin's, live stream the other day. I would highly recommend you guys all listen to what he says too. I'm just trying to navigate it for myself because we all have to put these in our own perspectives. Didn't mean to hijack. I was just noticing a lot of blatant examples that user would certainly notice bad experience. No, 100%, 100%. That's very real. Let me try to rapid fire some of these other thoughts here because I do have to go very, very soon. Okay, so what I think might help. I think I'm pivoting a little bit. I'm gonna kind of my thought process is I'm gonna document what I'm doing here, but ultimately I want to focus on the agency stuff. And truthfully, if I actually focused on the agency stuff and just gave you guys videos and content about that shit, it would probably help everyone. So if I focus a little bit more on that, I'd have actual more tangible things that I could pull from rather than just like random ass, I'm still going to talk about like WordPress, obviously. I'm still going to talk about like, technical things that I'm doing. But if I had actual examples and more real life things to go off of, I just think that I wouldn't be speculating or theorizing as much. So that's my thought process there. And I also want to make more money. And I know that I can make more money. I know that I can make money from building websites or, fulfilling websites, kind of like more of like a agency owner. So I want to try to do it. I think why not while I still have this skill set and everything like that. I was basically on zero sales calls in 2024. That's not false. So I definitely had very little experience because I was focusing on this stuff. I feel like I won't be able to teach again. Yeah, if I wasn't doing that. I also know I'm capable. I hit on all this stuff. The business model. This is a really important one. I don't have enough time to talk fully about, but business model, I get like so many different things about this. Do you go high ticket, you go low ticket? I'm going to say some things that are probably going to, scare people that probably run into this. I'm genuinely kind of pessimistic about the future for web designers because I do think that, with the advent of AI and just every other self-service builder thing out there, there are too many opportunities for clients to either say, A, we're going to build it ourselves, which is actually probably less likely. They're not going to like go into Wix or Squarespace to do that. I don't think that's happening heavily. It's the scrappy people maybe that are doing that, but they're going to like be able to use tools that are going to get them up and running as fast as we could, maybe faster and for cheaper. So what I'm saying is that I don't think there's a lot of room and a lot of runway left for the low ticket stuff. Maybe if you're super, super quick and you could basically just leverage those tools before they know about them and just do it for them on the super cheap. But anytime that I've ever dealt with that type of market, I talked to you guys a couple weeks ago about the whole like SaaS apparel thing. That is like some of it's no disrespect to the people, but like the business acumen and the business, the general business type conversation that you have with people that want to start apparel brands in 2025. I liken it to the same people that want to like spin up a website for a random ass startup business that have no money in 2025. It's really a similar audience. And all I'm saying is that it is nightmarish to be on those phone calls and like actually try to be selling somebody when you're 2 minutes into that call and you're like, this fucking offer is, like $1,000 and $100 a month or something like that. And you're 2 minutes into that call and you're like, why the fuck am I on this call? This person doesn't understand the value of this whatsoever. They just want it as cheap as possible. They're probably going to churn. It just doesn't make any sense. The only way I would go that route is if they could literally click a button and buy it. But at the same time, those people generally are so tight with their money that they're not even going to like understand that like the speed. They're not going to understand how quickly and how good of a deal that is, how valuable it is for them to just click a button and then have something. You know what I mean? So it's just a whole thing. I've never understood and never had any success at the low ticket level with anything like that, unless you get to the point where you have, like, I'm looking at Notion here, like Notion, $20 a month or whatever. But like, this is a whole ass thing that I never talked to anybody at Notion about. It's just a product. So this weird productized service business, depending on what industry you're in, I just don't see it working for very much longer. If you're in it and you have it established, great for you. If you're starting it right now, I'm not going to start one right now. I would much rather be in the high ticket thing, and that's where I'm going to be. With all that, you also get the opportunity to be kind of like a digital or brand consultant, because these people that have money to actually buy shit, you know, it's easier said than done. I'm going to do a whole nother stream on this high ticket bullshit. Might do one with Matty Eastwood. He was hitting me up about one. So like, we'll see. We'll talk more about this, but like, you get to actually call yourself more of a digital consultant rather than just like a pixel pusher. So, you know, again, like what stuff that Kevin says, there's some thoughts there that I have, so we can kind of go about this. But again, I think this channel is going to continue to be me documenting and teaching. I'm just going to try to give you real world examples. Not much is changing, honestly, from your guys' end. Hopefully you just get more value out of this. And then I might be making content directly for clients on the Find It Tech channel that I started doing technical shit a while ago, and then I just deleted all the content and kind of put it over here, because I want to be the technical. I want to be like the teacher over here, but over there it'd be really like marketing content, where it'd be like, hey, reasons that you need to actually give a shit about XYZ or whatever, almost. So it's like random, like, marketing education almost, in a way, or just like ways to think about it. I don't know if that's going to happen. It might happen, but I don't know. So anyway, some quick action items. I want to list, and this may be something you guys could maybe look into, right? So I want to list all of my skills that I have. And then I want to figure out which ones of those are like actual value or will continue to help and like continue to be valuable. Most likely, really continue to be valuable. If they don't continue to be valuable, then I definitely don't like, I kind of want to stray away from them a little bit. And then create a fucking offer for people. If I don't have like an offer or a semblance of an offer, then it's not going to work. This right here is what we need to talk about. Is the sweet spot for me is, and has always has been, like $7,500 to $20,000. Straightforward websites that are for old money established businesses. If you can find this, do whatever you can to get that fucking job. Almost like, don't sell your soul, obviously, don't be stupid, but I'm saying this is the sweet spot. Now I know this is big numbers for some and like all that sort of stuff. I'm just saying that, like, when you layer this whole thing in, I'm gonna have to do some sort of content on this, because this is the most amount of success I've ever had. We're not dealing with like fucking startups. We're not dealing with like jamokes. We're dealing with people that have old money. There's a lot of businesses that started like, you know, 20, 30, 40 years ago, and their shit sucks. This is where you need to live. You need to go find them. You need to hit them up. You need to be genuine and provide value up front. And then you need to fucking land a deal for somewhere in there. Anything more than this, you're getting into real territory. We need to do paid discovery and all this other shit. Anything less than this, you're getting into what I would classify as, no disrespect, but bottom feeder type shit, where they just want anything less. And pretty soon, anything less than like $5,000, I feel like you're going to be able to get the same amount of value as a business owner, or they're going to perceive that they can get the same amount of value from like a random, like a third party person anywhere, or just do it themselves, or have some random person do it, like not a true professional. So I really think that's important. And then I'm going to leverage my pro network that I have outside of this bubble, and also a referral program. Specifically, I thought about this for individuals. Imagine if you had a client, you were dealing with like the admin or whatever, or like a secretary or something, like some person at a company, and then you say to them, hey, if you personally find me other clients, I will give you 10% of all the money I make from them for the next 12 months. You can't really do this for companies at this level. Like, why would a big construction company or shit like care about maybe some of the referral stuff? If you did it for individuals, I'm going to explore that and get back to you guys. And the last thing I have here, might need help at some point, like I said, from you guys to fill 100%. So that's all I got. I gotta run, because I'm gonna go on the tonic here in a second. But yeah, guys, hopefully this was somewhat valuable. I know it was me kind of just like talking about, documenting this, but this is truly, I think, hopefully some of the stuff that can really move the needle for you guys as you think about this. Again, don't use my situation. You have to do this for yourself. I think it's really important to kind of do that. If you want to go watch the tonic, I just dropped the link in the chat. I have to go over there and chat with the boys. So it's going to be kind of a similar conversation, I think, in some degree. So would love to see you guys over there. Thank you guys so much for all of the support. Can't ever express my gratitude enough for that. Thank you for listening. And I will talk to you guys in the next one. Thursdays, 11 a.m. Eastern, right here. Yeah. Sweet. Okay. Yeah, the link's in the chat there too, guys. Sorry about that. Cool. Awesome. Appreciate you guys. I'll talk to you later.